Good morning, Miss Walsh. All right, I have somebody from Huron Valley. Can I ask your name, please?
Shannon Foley.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to change your screen name so that I don't keep asking you your name because I'll have so many people going through this morning. So, and who's your attorney, Rhonda Underwood?
I'm not sure. It was a gentleman.
Okay, let me see who you got here.
Davis, or was it, is there a Davis?
No, let me look. Yeah, it's John Glazier. So I'm going to put his initials after yours, and then you can just hang out for a minute. I don't know when he'll get here, but Miss Adams, could you send a message to Mr. Glazier that I have MDOC with Miss Foley, and maybe he can pop down and take care of her?
Okay.
Thank you.
Different attorneys go to different courts first thing, and Mr. Glazier usually goes to the other judge in the morning first. So we'll see if we can get him. All right.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Speed, I'm gonna start. Oh, who do I have from the jail?
Scott Coaster.
Good morning, Mr. Coaster. Hold on one second. Let me grab your file. And JK. All right, and you pronounce it Coaster?
Yep, just like you said a cup on.
Okay, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Scott D. Coaster, file number 25-22144AX. Mr. Coaster, do you have copies of the waiver with you?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna call over and tell them you need that. So hold on one second.
Good morning, Judge Ansel, Deputy Miller over in the jail here.
Good morning. So I have Mr. Coaster in a Zoom room, but he needs his waiver forms. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
His what forms, I'm sorry?
Well, he's on an extradition, so he needs the waiver forms.
Okay, I'll get it sent up.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Bye. All right, so Mr. Coaster, they're gonna bring you the waiver forms. So let me go through extradition with you, and then we'll explain those. So, let me find it here. So this is a proceeding to determine whether you wish to waive your right of extradition. Extradition is a proceeding to return you to another state in which a warrant has been issued for your arrest for the commission of a felony. It is in effect a demand by another state for your surrender and to return to that state to face the crime with which you are charged. So let's see what we got. So you are charged by warrant from the state of Kentucky, county of Meade, with the crime of okay, so there's 10,000 full cash, failure to appear, violation of conditions of release. And it shows that it's a possession, first degree of methamphetamine, possession of marijuana, and failure of non-owner operator to maintain required, I'm assuming, insurance.
Yeah.
But at least the first count, possession controlled substance, first degree, first offense, methamphetamine, is a felony in the state of Michigan and would be a felony in the state of Kentucky. So we cannot, in the state of Michigan, determine the truth or the falsity of the charges against you, or your guilt or innocence. We can only determine whether it's a felony in the state of Kentucky and you are in fact Scott D. Coaster.
Yes,
You do not have to waive your right to extradition. You can require that the governor of the state of Kentucky make demand upon the governor of Michigan for a warrant for extradition. You have the right to demand and procure legal counsel. If you cannot afford an attorney, we will appoint one for you at county expense. If you or your attorney wish to test the legality of your arrest, you can apply within a reasonable time for a writ of habeas corpus. That is a writ by which your custodian is required to bring you before the court for the purpose of having a hearing to determine the legality of your arrest. Do you understand all the rights that I've just given to you?
sort of, kind of, yeah.
All right. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you at this hearing?
I don't really need one, I guess.
Okay. And do you want to waive your right to extradition to a writ of habeas corpus and to an attorney and go voluntarily to the state of Kentucky to face the charges made against you in that state?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so we're just gonna wait till they bring you those documents if they haven't already.
Yeah,
So they have brought them?
No, they haven't yet.
Okay, so we'll give them a minute to get those over to you. And then we'll go through that part of it.
I was gonna see if I could get everything moved to Michigan, but it'd probably be easier just to go back there and get it done, right?
So you can't move criminal cases to Michigan. They got to stay there. Like you can transfer parole or probation, but the initial case itself has to be done in the state.
Thank you.
Sometimes on misdemeanors, they'll let you do plea by mails, but usually not felonies.
Thank you.
All right, so you should have been given at least 3 or 4 copies of a waiver of extradition, and about midway, it'll say for you to sign and date. Sign and date those documents. It's
They didn't bring me
February
a pen.
19th. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Hey, this is Judge Ian Sloan again. They just brought Mr. Coaster the documents, but they didn't give him a pen to sign them.
Oh, shoot, okay, we'll get that,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Bye. All right, they're gonna bring you a pen. Sir, are you here for a case or just to watch? What's your name?
Collins.
Okay, let me find your. Yep, your attorney is Mr. Malaro.
Yep.
So he should be here pretty soon. All right. Oh, you got a pen now? All right, so sign those, sign each one. Today is February 19th.
I got what, 5 of them to sign?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
I have to sign them too. They'll bring them to me and then I gotta sign them all too.
Yeah, I just want to get all this done with so I can get on with my life.
I'm sure.
I've been having medical problems, so that's why I didn't get it finished down there in the first place.
Mr. Malaro, I have Eugene Collins in the courtroom, so give me just a minute and I'll take his case.
Judge, actually, his son's bringing him his phone. I need to talk to him because I think we may have this resolved with a plea.
You want him to connect to the hallway Zoom?
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work too.
Sir, if you go out in the hallway and you take a left, there's a little stand there with that iPad on it. It has pretty good directions. Connect to the Zoom. Do you know how to do that?
No,
Miss Adams, could you go out in the hallway and help Mr. Collins?
Okay, I signed the,
Go in the hallway and someone will come help you, all right? All right, so.
Judge, I don't think we can hear you.
yeah, my,
Mr. Coaster, I'm sorry, my courtroom dropped out. Mr. Coaster, wave your right, or raise your right hand for me. Do you swear that the signing of these papers is your free act and deed for the purpose of waiving extradition?
yes, I do.
All right, so Mr. Coaster, thank you very much. I wish you the best of luck and safe travels, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Glazier, real quick, I do have, thank you for bopping over here. I do have Huron Valley. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shannon Marie Foley, file number 25-22138 FH, I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Miss Foley. And I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So this is a date and time set for a pretrial. I had Miss Foley was supposed to be here in person, but she zoomed in. So is that okay, Miss Foley?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, so hold on one second. I am going to open up a breakout room and I am going to assign.
Can I speak with Mr. Sneed for a second first?
Okay, Mr. Glazier and Mr. Sneed to one breakout room. And then I'm going to assign, let me see, CC hallway and Mr. Malaro to another breakout room. Everybody go join that breakout room.
Judge,
Yes.
Miss Foley still needs prints. That's why it was originally in person. Just wanted to let you know.
All right, thank you. So Ms. Foley, somehow, you haven't been fingerprinted and I don't know how that happened because you're sitting in prison. So we got to figure out how to get you fingerprinted. So we will do that and we'll try to make sure the next time you come in person. Hi, this is Judge Anzalone. I am also ready for Rodriguez Lofton.
okay,
All right, awesome. Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye. All right, good morning, Mr. Webb. I just brought you in. I'm changing your screen name so I can add the initials of your attorney. Mr. Glazier goes to Judge Olsaver first, so it'll be a little bit, all right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm gonna put you back in the waiting room. Miss Walsh, I'll send you
Yes.
Ms.
ma'am.
Walsh, that arraignment will not be this morning. I disqualified, and as did the other circuit court judge, so that arraignment, it was waived, the arraignment was waived, but that, it was reassigned to Judge Morgan.
Okay. I wondered. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, Mr. Glazier, all right. So, Mr. Glazier, do you need to talk to Ms. Foley?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, so I am going to. Okay, all right, Ms. Foley, I'm going to assign you to breakout room number 1. Mr. Glazier, you need to rejoin the breakout room.
All right.
All right, Mr. Montoya, do you have your client with you?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, let me get your file.
I never got the breakout room invitation.
You
yet.
have to rejoin it. So you got to go down on the bottom and rejoin the breakout room because they're already open. So I can't close them and reopen them. So your client's in there. Just go down to breakout room and rejoin.
I don't see breakout room on here.
There's a way to rejoin it. I don't know. Okay. All right.
There's a button that says more with 3 dots in it.
Yeah, I pushed that and
And then there should be a selection for join breakout room in that.
it's not on there. It's, oh yeah, there it is. All right, thanks, Isaac.
You're welcome. All right, this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Jason Mark Crane, file number 25-22107FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people, and I have, is it Montoya or Montoy?
Just Montoy.
All right, and what is your P number, Mr. Montoy?
74163.
All right, thank you. So I do have, and the defendant is present with his attorney. So I do have in the file a plea agreement. Mr. Montoya, is it your intention to have your client accept the plea today?
It is, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Sneed and Mr. Montoya, I have a plea agreement that's been signed by all parties that state that Mr. Crane will plead to, let me see. Amended information yet? No. Oh, I do. I have an amended information. Thank you. So he will plead to count 3, attempted children accosting for immoral purposes, which carries a maximum penalty of up to 2 years in prison and a $2,000 fine. This is a tier 2 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act. And does he have any prior convictions for tier 2 or no prior convictions, Mr. Sneed?
Your Honor, I have to defer to Mr. Montoya on that.
No priors, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's tier 2, so he will be required to register under the Sex Offender Registration Act. Have you discussed that with your client?
Yes, we have reviewed that, Your Honor. He understands.
Okay, excellent. And then there is a Killebrew agreement between the prosecutor's office and defense counsel that there will be no upfront jail, and count 1 and count 2 will be dismissed. And anything else that's not listed in the plea agreement form, Mr. Montoya?
No, that's our full understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
And Mr. Sneed?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. Thank you. So, Mr. Crane, you want to raise your right hand for me?
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am. All
All right, so Mr. Crane, I'm going to need you to speak up very loudly and repeat your response again.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And can you state your full name for the record?
Jason Mark Crane.
All right, now you have heard, I've read off the plea agreement and your attorney and the prosecutor have agreed that that is the plea offer. So is it your intention today to plead guilty to count 3 attempted children accosting for immoral purposes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, are you satisfied with Mr. Montoya as your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes.
You understand, even though there's an agreement for no upfront jail, if you were to violate probation in any way, you could then be facing up to 2 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, so neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed any other possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Sneed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Montoya
Yes, Your Honor.
and Mr. Crane?
Yes.
If a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at your trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial and not to have your silence used against you. Hold on, I just had to look. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. Mr. Crane, do you understand that if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable if you were convicted at trial? Do you understand that, Mr. Crane?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. And do you understand that by entering this plea, you will be required to register under the Michigan Sex Offender Registry Act? Do you understand that, Mr. Crane?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No, ma'am.
All right. So how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about December 26 of 2024 in the city of Tecumseh in the county of Lenawee that you did commit the offense of attempted children accosting for immoral purposes? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No, ma'am.
You understand that if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Sneed.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Montoya.
No, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Crane, other than the plea agreement, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be, like fines, costs, and what term of probation?
No.
Okay, is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, so Mr. Montoya, on December 26th of 2024, were you in Tecumseh or communicating with somebody in Tecumseh, Michigan and Lenawee County?
And you're addressing that to Mr. Crane, correct, Your Honor?
I'm sorry, did I say the wrong name?
Yeah.
Mr. Montoya, I guess, I'm sorry, Mr. Crane, on December 26th of 2024, you live in Saginaw, right?
Yes.
All right, were you communicating with somebody via computer who lived at Tecumseh, Michigan?
Yes.
All right, and was that individual reported to be less than 16 years old?
Yes.
All right, and were you trying to solicit them or try to have, I guess, for purposes of the plea?
Can I go ahead, Your Honor?
Yeah, go ahead, you can voir dire.
Thank you. Mr. Crane, that individual that the judge referenced, you did actually end up going to a home at 310 West Chicago Boulevard in Tecumseh, right?
Yes.
And you went there with the intention of engaging in immoral behavior of a sexual nature, yes?
Yes.
I think that should satisfy you, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Sneed?
I am, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Has the court complied with MCR? Let's see, 6.302 B, C, and D. Mr. Sneed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Montoy?
Yes, Your Honor.
I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. This court, other than the Killebrew agreement struck between the prosecutor and the defense counsel, has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case, with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them. I am going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. Mr. Montoy, we can do this sentencing via Zoom if you and your client would like.
Yes, Your Honor, please.
All right, and Mr. Montoy, are you available April 4 at 8:15?
That'll be fine. Thank you.
All right, so we will set this for April 4 at 8:15 in the morning via Zoom. So Mr. Montoy, I am going to open up a breakout room, and I'm going to place you and your client along with the probation department into that breakout room. Mr. Crane, when you meet with the probation department, you're gonna have to come here and meet with them. But when you do, be truthful with them about your background, the events that occurred. They'll prepare a pre-sentence report. We will make sure a copy is provided to Mr. Montoy to review with you before the day of sentencing. Mr. Montoy, if there is any dispute regarding guidelines, just to let you know, I do require a memo in advance, so I don't kind of get blindsided the morning of sentencing, because I usually have like 6 to 8 of them at a time. So you can just submit that. So Mr. Montoy and Mr. Moore, go ahead and join that breakout room.
And Your Honor, briefly before the breakout room, can we address just 2 small issues, I think small issues regarding bond?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. And I did file a motion with the district court at the probable cause conference stage that the judge addressed at that time. But she did impose a condition on Mr. Crane that he cannot leave his home for any purpose other than work or to attend court. I'm asking the court to just relax that so that he can leave to get food, to go grocery shopping and that sort of thing. And then also, she said that he could not use the internet for any reason whatsoever. I certainly understand the restriction there. He doesn't seek to use social media or anything like that, but the internet to pay bills and to order food would be our request, Your Honor.
It's the wrong one.
Right. Mr. Sneed, what are the people's position?
I have no objection to that request, Your Honor. Here's
All
reason.
right, so we will amend his bond conditions to allow him to leave his home for doctor's appointments, trips to the store, court proceedings, and work. And then he can not use any social media,
Understood.
but he may use his computer for purposes of paying bills and appropriate texting and email.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Right, and my staff will amend that. And Ms. Adams, do you want that sent to Mr. Montoy to have his client sign?
What's amended, Judge? I don't think we have to do that.
Okay, so you're good. All right, so go ahead and join that breakout room. Thank you, Mr. Montoy. Thank you, Mr. Crane. Go ahead and join the breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Glazier, let's take care of Miss Foley for you. I know you got to get back to Judge Olson.
I've only got one case over there, Judge. If you got some other ones, I can do them here. I got most
All of your people ready, actually, Mr. Glazier. They are all here today, so.
All right.
Okay, Miss Adams, if you could call the jail and let them know, I'll also be ready for Cody Keno. Okay, so we are back on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Shannon Marie Foley. Ms. Foley is joining us from Huron Valley Women's Detention Center, but she was supposed to be here in person, Mr. Glazier, because we still don't have fingerprints on her, even though she's kind of a captive audience. I don't know how we don't have fingerprints on her. So I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Ms. Foley, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is a date time set for arraignment. Mr. Glazier, do you waive the reading of the felony information?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you received a copy of the prosecutor's request for discovery and witness list?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
And how do you wish to proceed, Mr. Glazier?
Your Honor, they have offered her a plea to possession second offense, which I think we want to do. I asked Mr. Sneed if we could get an agreement that it would run concurrent. He says he didn't have an objection to it, but he really couldn't do it. So we were going to ask if the court could make a Cobb's plea that the time would run concurrent. She's in jail. She says she's in prison right now until, let's see if I can find it.
11/10 to 2026.
Yeah, 11. So she's in there for another year and a half anyway. And it's on a retail fraud out of Hillsdale County. I imagine it would run concurrent. The only thing that I could see that might run it consecutive if she was on bond when she did it. But I can't tell that from looking at her criminal history. The criminal history, I don't see when. I know it occurred before, or the retail fraud where she's in prison on occurred before this, but I don't know if she was on bond or incarcerated, because she had some time where she got incarcerated in Jackson too. So, but we're just asking.
So Miss Foley, were you on parole or probation on August 17th of 24 anywhere?
No, I was not.
Okay, so you didn't get sentenced until after August 17th of 24 for your current cases?
Right.
So we should be good.
Okay,
Mr. Sneed, would you agree?
Yes, I would, Your Honor.
All right, possession second is an 8-year, correct?
No, it's is it? It's,
Oh, possession is a 4-year, right?
excuse me, I misspoke. She's pleading to a 2-year use second offense.
So a
What?
4-year total. What?
This is possession of meth second offense. It's a 20-year offense.
Yeah, but hold on.
What's the plea offer, Mr. Sneed?
The plea offer I thought was use second offense.
The plea offer I have is possession of meth second offense.
Oh, okay, in that case, we're gonna plead not guilty, Your Honor. And I guess I misread this.
Okay, so I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty on behalf of your client, and I'm gonna set another pretrial. I am gonna have to make it in person, Miss Foley. Luckily, it's not that far of a drive. So I'm gonna set this out to April 2nd at 8:30 in the morning. And Miss Foley will have that in person so we can get your fingerprints done. And we'll do the notice of hearing because it's an arraignment. So Miss Foley, thank you, and we'll see you back on April 2nd, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hold on one second. Mr. Malaro, what we got going here? Okay. So Mr. Glazier, in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Aaron Webb, file number 23-21230FH. I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Mr. Webb, Isaac Sneed on behalf of the people. Mr. Glazier, do you need a breakout room with your client?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
All right, and then Mr. Malaro, I'll move over to you. All right, so Mr. Webb, I'm going to open up a breakout room. Find you, Mr. Webb. There you are with you and Mr. Glazier. Go ahead and join that breakout room. And we'll get rid of MDOC. All right, so, Mr. Glazier. I have Mr. Collins. So, Mr. Collins, you want to come on up to the podium? Mr. Malaro, are you ready on Mr. Collins? Just stand right there in front of me.
Yes. Yes, I'm ready,
All
Judge.
right. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Eugene Everett Collins, file number 25-22143H. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Collins, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for, it looks like actually arraignment in this matter. Mr. Malaro, do you waive the reading of the felony information?
Your Honor, we would acknowledge receipt of the felony information, the amended felony information. We'd waive its reading in open court. And Mr. Collins will plead guilty to the amended count 3 pursuant to the plea agreement we had emailed over to your secretary, Mrs. Adams, which is an attempted accosting children for immoral purposes. Counts 1 and 2 would be dismissed. There is a sentencing agreement of no upfront jail. Mr. Collins acknowledges that this conviction would result in him being required to register under the Michigan Sex Offender Registration Act. I believe it would be a tier 2 sex offense, which is 2 times a year for 25 years. I believe that is how we're going to proceed today, Judge.
And no upfront jail is part of the Killebrew agreement between the prosecutor's office and the defense counsel. I think you might have said that, Mr. Malone, so I'm sorry if I repeated it. So, Mr. Collins, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So and you're kind of soft-spoken, so I need you to speak up louder, so repeat your response for me.
Yes, I do.
All right, can you state your full name for the record?
Eugene Everett Collins.
All right, so Mr. Collins, you have heard the statement of your attorney, and Mr. Sneed, that was a correct recitation of the plea, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, so you've heard the statement of your attorney and the prosecuting attorney. Is it your intention now to plead guilty to an added count 3, attempted children accosting for immoral purposes?
Yes.
And it sounds like your attorney went over with you the fact that it will require you to register under the Sex Offender Registration Act.
Yes.
Okay, and you understand there's an agreement to no upfront jail.
Yes.
All right, are you satisfied with your attorney and the advice that he has given you?
Yes, I am.
All right, and you understand the maximum penalty for this offense, if you were to violate probation, could be up to 4 years in prison. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right. Okay, so other than the sentence agreement that was placed on the record, neither the prosecutor, the defendant, nor anyone on the defendant's behalf has discussed a possible sentence with the court. Is that correct, Mr. Malaro?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Sneed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Collins?
Yes.
Okay, so Mr. Collins, if a guilty plea is accepted, there will be no trial. This means that you will be giving up rights you would have had at a trial. I'm going to explain those rights to you now to make sure that you understand them. You have a right to a speedy public trial by jury. You may ask for a non-jury trial, and if the prosecutor and court agree, you can have a non-jury trial. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have the prosecuting attorney prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty and you do not have to prove anything. You have the right to be present at trial and have witnesses against you appear at trial and to ask those witnesses questions. You have the right to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during your trial, not to have your silence used against you. However, you also have the right to testify at your trial if you want to testify. And do you understand if your plea is accepted, you may be giving up the right to appeal issues that would otherwise be appealable had you been convicted at trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that any appeal from the conviction and sentence pursuant to the plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right? Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you are not a citizen of the United States of America, a conviction of a crime may result in deportation, exclusion from admission to the United States of America, or denial of naturalization. And you, again, understand that you will be required to register under the Michigan Sex Offender Registry Act.
Yes.
All right, do you have any questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No, the only thing I have to ask is about being able to pay my bills online.
Are you not allowed to do that right now?
That's what they told me. I ain't allowed to touch no computer or nothing.
Okay, so we'll talk about that after the plea, all right, like we did in the last case. So, do you have any other questions about the rights that I've given to you?
No.
All right, how do you wish to plead to the charge that on or about January 29th of 2025 in the city of Tecumseh in the county of Lenawee, that you did commit the offense of attempted children accosting for immoral purposes, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
All right, and has anyone made any threats or promises to you to induce you to plead guilty to this charge?
No.
Do you understand if I accept this plea, you will be giving up any and all claims that your plea is given as a result of promises or threats that were not disclosed to the court on the record during this hearing, or that it was not your own choice to enter the plea? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Is the prosecutor or defense counsel aware of any promises or threats or inducements other than the plea bargain to induce the defendant to plead guilty? Mr. Malaro?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Sneed?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I know there's an agreement between the prosecutor's office and your counsel to no upfront jail. But other than that, has your attorney promised you any particular sentence or estimated what your sentence will be in terms of length of probation and fines and costs?
No.
Okay. Is it your own choice to plead guilty?
Yes.
All right, so, all right, Mr. Malaro, do you want to dear him on this one? Because I'm not sure of the events
Sure,
from the
Judge.
information.
Yeah, I can take a crack at it. Mr. Collins, is it true that on or about January 29th of this year, you were in the city of Tecumseh, County of Lenawee, state of Michigan?
Yes.
And did you, at 310 West Chicago Boulevard in Tecumseh, attempt to entice or solicit a child less than 16 years old to commit an immoral act?
Yes.
And you knew this was contrary to Michigan law?
Yes.
What you were doing?
Yes.
Is the court and the state satisfied?
People satisfied, Mr. Sneed?
Yes, thank you.
Right, has the court complied with MCR 6.302 B, C, and D? Mr. Malaro?
I believe the court has.
Mr. Sneed?
Yes, thank you.
All right, I accept the plea. It has been given understandably, voluntarily, and accurately. The defendant has full knowledge of his rights. He does have competent counsel. This court has made no agreement regarding the possibility of a plea or possible sentence in this case with the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the defendant, or anyone acting in the interest of either of them, other than the Killebrew agreement between the prosecutor's office and defense counsel. I'm going to refer this matter to the probation department for a pre-sentence investigation. Mr. Malaro, are you available April 2nd? Or wait, no, not April 2nd, April 4?
Yeah, I'll be available for you, Judge.
All right, Ms. Adams, I'm going to need a notice of hearing from Mr. Collins. So I'm going to set this sentencing for April 4 of 2025 at 8:15 in the morning. And you can come in person. And then before you leave today, I need you to go across the hall and check into the probation department. They'll give you instructions. You got to come back and meet with them. They'll do a pre-sentence interview, be truthful with them about your background, the events that occurred. They'll prepare a report. I'll get it to Mr. Malaro, reach out to him a week or so or two before sentencing to review that with him before we come back. And we'll be back here on April 4 at 8:15 in the morning. We're going to get you a notice of hearing. So you're asking to address your bond. So do you have a bond condition that you can't leave your house except for?
No, it doesn't say I can't leave my house. It just says that I can't touch a computer, pay the bills or.
So, Mr. Sneed, I know it's like, I don't even know how you pay bills in person anymore. We've become so spoiled, but Mr. Sneed, is there any objection to amending the conditions to allow him, is that no use of social media or contact with minors, but can, pay bills and email and anything required like that?
I have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, so we will amend your bond conditions to allow access to a computer, but not to use any social media or no communications with anybody under the age of 16. Got it?
Thank you.
All right, so Ms. Adams, will he need to sign that or no?
I can just give him a copy, Judge.
Okay, so if you just step back and have a seat on that bench behind you, they'll get you copies of that, and then before you leave, go across the hall to the probation department, all right? Okay, all right, so.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Glazier, let me see here. Somebody's still in a breakout room. Yeah, Mr. Webb is. Mr. Malaro, are you gonna need a breakout room with Mr. Lofton?
Probably.
Okay, so let me call that one real quick and give you a breakout room. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Rodriguez Lofton. We have 1, 2, 3 files, 21-20524 FH, 23-21207 FH, and those are probation violation files, I believe, and then 24-21769 FH. I have Salvatore Malaro appearing on behalf of Mr. Lofton, and I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So, Mr. Lofton, I'm going to open up a breakout room for you and your attorney. There's been a report received, and Mr. Malaro, you're going to review that with them, right?
Sure.
Okay, so which jail window are you in? Jail 2. Okay. So go ahead and join that breakout room.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so now we are back on Mr. Webb. So in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Christopher Aaron Webb, file number 23-21230 FH. John Glazier appearing on behalf of Mr. Webb and Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. So Mr. Glazier, how do you wish to proceed on behalf of Mr. Webb today?
Your Honor, I think I want to adjourn it, but just for a couple of weeks. I need to speak. Isaac, is this still Phoebe's case?
Yeah, I believe so.
I just need to get in touch with Phoebe and get this thing resolved, hopefully.
All right, so I can adjourn this to March 12 at 8:30 in the morning. And Mr. Glazier, you do the step in order to adjourn?
Yeah. There's 12.
All right, so
30, okay.
Yeah. So Mr. Webb, we'll see you back on March 12 at 8:30 in the morning, all right? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, Mr. Webb is having difficulty hearing us, so I'm going to chat. him. Oh, went and got the child to, or what we like to call IT. All right, I'm sending a chat to him. We are adjourning your pretrial to March 12 at 8:30 in the morning. Oh, he's chatting back, I think. All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
That's okay. You type me.
While you're there, Mr. Webb, if you
He can't hear us, John. He can't hear us.
can you hear me, Mr. Webb?
You can't even hear anything, can you?
No, I
No,
can't.
John,
Okay.
he can't, he has no hearing of us. So I
right.
chatted him and said we're adjourning to March 12th.
Okay, all right, thank you, Your Honor.
They we
All
set
right.
it for 2 weeks out.
Yep. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna tell him to call you.
I was gonna break out with him, but it just in her.
I'm sending him a chat saying, call your attorney. We are all set.
All right.
Okay, Mr. Kuzno, is that you?
Yes.
Call your attorney. We are all set.
All right, now I'm sending him on his way because we can hear him before he starts talking bad about us. All right, so Mr. Kuzno, let me grab your file. Oh, we don't need Burke anymore. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Cody Ryan Kuzno, file number 25-22104FH. I have John Glazier appearing on behalf of Mr. Kuzno. And I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people. This is the date and time set for a pretrial conference in this matter. So, Mr. Glazier, how do you wish to proceed on behalf of Mr. Kuzno?
Your Honor, he has another file that we waived, and it's coming up to Circuit Court February 27th at 8:15. We would ask to adjourn this to that date and maybe address bond. I think yours is the only case that's holding him.
Well, I'm not here that day, so I think, is Judge Olsaver doing arraignments that day? I'm at a conference, so Ms.
Yeah,
Adams is Judge.
It's okay if you put over to Judge
Judge.
Allsavers. Huh?
Judge, we are doing arraignments on Thursday, the 27th.
Oh, okay, so yeah, I'll set this over to February 27th then.
Okay.
So we're doing them a different day. So I'll set it over to February 27th at 8:30 in the morning, so we can have it with his other file. You'll do the stip in order to adjourn, Mr. Glazier?
I can, yes, Your Honor.
Well, it's a pretrial, so you get to do those. All right,
Does
so
the
Mr.
prosecutor
Kuzno?
ever do those?
No, you do them,
How come the prosecutor never does them?
because they do the other paperwork.
They don't do any other paperwork.
They do the arraignment paperwork and the plea agreement forms and
Okay, fine.
orders on forensics, so anyway, so Mr. Kuzno, we'll see you back on
Oh,
Thursday.
I want
February
to do address bond if I could, Judge.
Sure.
I don't know what his bond was set at or is set at, but we were under the impression he was going to get out on your case and set up testing with Darren. Is that what you told me, Mr. Kuzno?
Well,
Yeah,
he
I'll
was, but he failed to set it up. He
Okay.
never did that. So
Yeah.
that's why he's in jail now, because he
Yeah.
didn't comply with that. So now he's got a $10,000 cash assurity bond.
Okay, what we were going to ask is if you could have a PR bond and he'll come over and set up that testing today as soon as he gets out. The one downstairs, he got a PR bond. He knows he's got to set up the testing and he'll come and do that, Your Honor.
Well, since we're coming back next week, I'm going to deny your request today just because he failed to do that last time.
Right?
But we will be back next week on both of his files and we can address it then.
Okay. All right. You understand that,
All right.
Mr. Kuzno?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Kuzno. You're all set.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, so Mr. Glazier, I'm pretty sure that's all I had with you. Oh, except for Michael Bonica, who's not here. Do you want me to call that one?
Michael Bonica should be in jail.
Well, he's not on my jail list. I could call him.
Good morning again, Deputy Vaughn, Deputy Miller.
How are you?
Good.
Do you have Michael Bonica still in jail, Bonica?
Monica, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm ready for him.
Okay.
I didn't have him on the jail list. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep, bye-bye.
All right, so Mr. Malaro, we are on the record again with Mr. Lofton. So we did receive, well, no, we don't have any updated stuff. So Mr. Malaro, how would you like to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Lofton? I think we're still awaiting transport to the forensic center. Is that correct? Mr. Malaro, we can't hear you.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, just a second, Judge.
No, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So,
So Judge, on
are-
the 20th, we did we entered the forensic order that he's incompetent but restorable. So yeah, we're waiting on him to be transported. I don't know what the delay is, but we'll start badgering the forensic center about it. And so I would ask that perhaps we adjourn this out maybe 45 days to determine if that's happened.
all right, about April 9 at 8:30 a.m.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you sure I can do another day?
I'm as sure as I can be at my age, Judge.
All right. So, Mr. Lofton, hopefully you'll be transported fairly soon, but otherwise we will see you back either Zoom from there on April 9th at 8:30 in the morning. All right, Mr. Lofton?
Hey, and Mr. Lotto, don't forget the detective, okay, sir?
Yep. I got a note. Rodriguez will take care of it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Lofton.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. Thank you. You do the stip in order, Mr. Malaro.
Yes, I will do it, Judge.
Okay, all right. So, I have a gentleman in jail Zoom 2. Can I ask your name, please?
Michael Bonica.
Okay, and Mr. Malaro, you represent Mr. Wyrick? Or Mr. Murphy does?
Not to my
Do you have
knowledge,
a-
Judge.
Do you have a case here or you're just watching? What's your name? Lamley, okay. Mr. Lamley, Mr. Murphy's your attorney, all right. Okay, so, all right, what am I doing? He's in jail. All right, Mr. Michael, how do you pronounce your last name?
Bonica.
Bonica, all right. This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Michael Bonica. File number 25-22139FH. This is the date and time set for arraignment in this matter. Mr. Glazier, does your client waive the reading of the felony information?
We waive the reading of that, Your Honor. Plead not guilty and ask that a pretrial be set in this matter.
All right. So I will enter a plea of not guilty in this matter. And just for the record, oh, no, okay. Okay, so, all right, so Mr. Darren Coast did a pretrial assessment on Mr. Bonica. And he said he conducted it on February 12th at the Lenawee County Jail. Mr. Bonica has been in jail since September of last year on a $175,000 bond. Mr. Bonica scored a 0 on the assessment, which puts him at the lowest possible end to be rearrested out on bond. He is also likely to show for all future court hearings. He has no prior criminal history. He was working at the time of his arrest and was living in a stable residence, and he does not have a controlled substance issue. And Mr. Coast said that it would be reasonable at this case, in this case, because of his scores on the pretrial assessment, to lower the bond and allow him to be released on a GPS tether with no access to computer or internet. So, Mr. Glazier, I don't know if you and Mr. Sneed want a copy of that, and you can file a motion, or if you wish to address it on the record today.
We can just address it on the record, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I would request a copy and to be able to respond in writing.
All right, so why don't I do this? Why don't I set this for next Thursday? And then we'll send you both a copy of this, all right? So, Mr. Bonica, I'm gonna enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf, and I'm gonna set this over to February 27 for a bond hearing. And then Ms. Adams will send a copy to both of you, and then we can address this next Thursday. Is this your file, Mr. Sneed, or do we send it to a different prosecutor?
It's Miss Arnold's file, Judge. Thank you.
All right, so we will make sure a copy gets emailed to both of them. All right, so Mr. Monica, we'll see you back next Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m., okay?
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you, Mr. Glazier and Mr. Sneed. So Mr. Glazier, I think I'm done with you now.
All right.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Adams, if you want any of these files, I got a stack going. All right, so Justin Wyrick, I have all right. Got Alexander Bayonetto. And I got Mr. Lamley, right? Okay. All right, so I think I've got everybody. All right, so this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Justin Christopher Wyrick. Is it Wyrick or Wyrich?
Wyrick.
Wyrick, okay. All right. It's important to me that I pronounce people's names right because everybody used to mispronounce my name. But now that Alex Anzalone pays for the Lions, I don't really have any issues anymore. So I have Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Wyrick. And is this you, Mr. Bayonetto?
It is, Your Honor, yes.
And Alexander Bayonetto appearing on behalf of the people. So Mr. Murphy, how do you wish to proceed today on behalf of Mr. Wyrick?
Your Honor, could I have a breakout, Mr. Wyrick, please?
Mr. Wyrick, are you still in transitional housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. All right. So I'm going to open up that breakout room and put you two in it. And I don't have any other attorneys, so I'm going to take these files to Miss Adams. Right back. I'm going to get off the bench anyway. All right, Miss. Oh. Senora Spade. Oh, my goodness. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Murphy. So let me close the breakout room. All right, so we are, oh wait, I put you in a breakout room with Mr. Wyrick. Now I'm gonna let him back in. And I also have Mr. Lamley in the courtroom, Mr. Murphy.
I would want to talk to him if he could go in the hallway. When it's
Okay. All right. If you want to go log into that device, you know how to do it?
Not really.
Well, try it. The instructions are there. And if you can't, I'll send somebody out. All right. So we're back on the record with Mr. Wyrick. So Mr. Murphy, how do you wish to proceed?
Your Honor, I'm just going to ask for another pretrial on this matter. I want to talk with Mr. Bayanetto further. I messaged him this morning about it, or just now about this. There's a misdemeanor case as well. I want to talk to them about a plea involving, as well as Mr. Wyrick's, his progress so far as he's been in transitional housing. So again, if we're just asking for another pretrial, if the prosecution wouldn't object.
No objection, Your Honor.
How far out?
Whatever fits the court schedule best, a month and a half, whatever.
How about April 2nd?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, and you'll do the step in order to adjourn?
Yes, Your Honor. My office would do that for April 2nd.
All right, so Mr. Wyrick, we will see you back on April 2nd at 8:30 in the morning, all right? Same
Yes,
Zoom
ma'am.
number. All
Okay.
right, thank you.
Mr. Wyrick.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, so did that one, we did that one. Mr. Murphy, you have Mr. Powers as well, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. William Powers.
All right, let me see.
What are we gonna do?
Hi, we are also ready for William Powers.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right, we're gonna go out the hallway and help Penny connect. So you gotta go in the hallway with me.
Nudge, I got it.
You got it? Okay. All right. Someone's coming out to help you right now.
I think my phone is here.
Oh, your stuff's safe in here.
No,
I won't
my
take it.
phone is signed. It's not on I need to sign it and need it.
Okay, someone's coming out to help you connect. All right, so Mr. Murphy, I'm going to open that breakout room and give you a chance to talk to your client. I'll be right back. Okey-doke. So Mr. Murphy, we are back on the record. So, you want to come back up here, Mr. Lamley? This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Noah Lamley, file number 24-22063FH. This is the date and time set for a pretrial conference, and there's a district court contempt of court as well. So, Mr. Murphy, how do you wish to proceed with Mr. Lamley?
Your Honor, in regards to the matter, Mr. Lamley is charged with destruction of property. There was discussion with the prosecution in this matter involving him paying restitution and a plea to contingent upon that. Mr. Lamley, he has no source of income right now. He's been trying to get work. We did have a competency evaluation done. He was determined to be competent at this time. However, I was trying to figure out, I was just rereading their opinion. The forensic center said that they couldn't complete his evaluation for his criminal responsibility, saying that there was some problematic, his mental state at the time of the alleged offense for which he is charged was highly problematic, if not impossible, and therefore information insufficient to perform the opinion. So, Your Honor, I was going to ask us to adjourn this matter. I'm got to figure out how we're going to approach this, because I think Mr. Lamley may want to have not guilty by reason of insanity ultimately worked out. So I was going to talk with the prosecution and then with the court about that. But if we just set another pretrial on this matter for maybe April 2nd or whatever fits the court's schedule best, and proceed that along that route.
So the letter I have from the Department of Health and Human Services states that the criminal responsibility was sent in on a misdemeanor, and they don't do that on misdemeanors. It says file number 24-20580M. So do we need to redo the request for criminal responsibility on the felony case?
Your Honor, I have a letter from Dr. Audu. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it was sent to Judge Morgan on November 12th, referencing, because it was both a felony and a misdemeanor.
So you did it on both of them. Okay.
Yeah. But on the felony, it says they weren't able to complete it.
Okay, I don't have that one. They didn't send that one up to me. I'm sorry. All right. So do you want to resubmit it to be completed?
Yes, if we could. I guess I'll have my office resubmit that paperwork and have another criminal responsibility evaluation done.
Is that all right, Mr. Sneed?
Yeah, I have no objection. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to set this out, Ms. Adams. I'm going to need a notice of hearing. So I'm going to set this out to May 7 at 8:30 in the morning. I'm going to get you a notice of hearing, Mr. Lamley, May 7 at 8:30 in the morning. And yeah, you keep looking for work. I'm sure there's people need shoveling or anything done right now. And we'll get you a notice of hearing, and we'll be back here May 7 at 8:30. Now, make sure you stay in contact with Mr. Murphy.
Yes, I've got a phone now, so I can do that easier.
Yeah, and check in every week or so, because he's gonna have instructions for criminal responsibility, all right? Okay, all right, so have a seat right behind you on that bench, and we will get you that notice of hearing. Mr. Mr. Powers, yes?
Yep. Yeah.
Good mornings.
Morning.
So good morning. So this is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus William Mitchell Powers, file number 24-22033FC. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people and Matthew Murphy appearing on behalf of Mr. Murphy. I do have a demand for a transcript that was filed on November 20th. And I do see that we received the transcript. So you received that, Mr. Murphy?
Yes, Your Honor. I was speaking with Ms. McClure this morning. She said that they had not received a copy of it for whatever reason, the people. So if she doesn't have one by the end of the day, then we'll forward a copy to her from my office. I had also spoken with her about the case. I was going to ask, well, could I speak to my client in a breakout, please, before we proceed further?
Okay. Okay, so I am going to open up a breakout room and let's see. I'm gonna close some rooms first. All right, so hold on a second, deleting rooms. All right, so Mr. Powers, I am going to send an invitation to you and Mr. Murphy to join a breakout room.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think I'm done with all these jail windows. I don't think I have anything else. All right, Mr. Murphy, let me bring your client back. All right, so we are back on the record with Mr. Powers. Mr. Murphy, how do you wish to proceed with Mr. Powers today?
Your Honor, this morning I was speaking with Ms. McClure. She let me know that they have some lab results that we haven't gotten yet. The defense hasn't gotten yet, and she's going to send them to us today, if not already. I was going to review those and speak with my client more. Also, we've done some investigation that I was notifying my client on just now, and I want to talk to them further about that. So I was just going to ask for another pretrial to be set. I think that this case isn't too old. And so I think another pretrial will be appropriate given the status right now.
Okay, April 9 at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, Your Honor. My office will
All
go ahead
right.
and do a stipulation order for that date.
All right. All right, so Mr. Powers, we will see you back on April 9 at 8:30 in the morning, all right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, before we go, I forgot, did Mr. Coast do an assessment on Mr. Powers back when he got his arraignment? I would assume so. I didn't know if there was any update or anything that had been done.
All right, he said that although he scored on the lower end, not the lowest end, the nature of these offenses, considering that he's charged with 2 counts of first degree CSE on a child between the age of 13 but less than 16, and 1 count of criminal sexual conduct, second degree, that those charges are very serious and concerning. And while he scored low, he is concerned about those charges and release. So if you want to schedule a bond hearing, we can send it. I'm not going to address bond today. I will get a copy of this to you and the prosecutor, and you said it's Miss McClure.
Yes, Your Honor. That's all I was going to ask for was a copy, and then I was going to file a motion probably to address.
Yeah, so I'll put a note in here that this will be scanned and emailed to Matt and Miss McClure, and then you can set a bond hearing and we can address it. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Powers, we will see you back probably sooner than that date on a motion. So you're all set. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. May God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Have a great day. God bless you.
Yep, you as well. All right. So, Mr. Murphy, give me just a second. I do believe
Yep, I think that's all I had scheduled. So.
that concludes our criminal docket this morning. So,
Thank you, Your Honor.
I
Everyone have a
just
good
have
day.
Miss Underwood and I'm waiting on her for a 10:30. So thank you, Mr. Murphy. He's already gone. Thanks, Mr. Sneed.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Have a good morning.
Bye. All right, so we just have a PPO hearing at 10:30, and that concludes our morning docket. No, we got court.